about your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and many blessings this holiday season. Welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it this week, folks. Now, as usual, I give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, or maybe some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it, folks. So that's a good deal. Holly jolly. Woo-wee. Let's get to it. Story number 1. What's the fuss about a firing of a county worker? A fired maintenance employee caused a stir in Mahoning County because he was fired for his support for Gino DeFabio. Now, Gino DeFabio ran against Remigio Righetti. She ran against Remigio Righetti, the Democrat incumbent. Now, Ricky Morrison of Poland was fired December 2nd while undergoing cancer treatment. Now, his job was later reinstated after an investigation into what he was fired for just didn't seem to add up. Now, this story got in because the Mahoning County has stayed in the headlines with consistent stories involving county officials. Some stories stemming back throughout the whole year. Now, this story made front page news of the Vindicator Wednesday, December 14th, catching a lot of attention. That's why story number 1 made it this week. Story number 2. Trustee drama in Austintown. Austintown residents made headlines after putting in motion a petition to remove Township Trustee Steve Kent from office. Kent has been indicted on 3 charges of sexual battery and 1 count of tampering with evidence. Now, these are all third-degree felonious assault, felonious charges, according to information published December 13th in the local paper. Now, this story is still developing. That's why story number 2 made it this week. Story number 3. Another big load for GM. Altium Sales has closed on a $2.5 billion federal loan to help finance 3 battery cell plants, according to a local report published December 13th. Now, this is the first ever for a battery cell manufacturing project, the first ever funding, this type of federal funding. Now, U.S. Secretary of Energy Jennifer M. Granholm says that this load will jumpstart the domestic battery cell production needed to reduce America's reliance on other countries while also complying with Biden's pollution and climate change ambitions. So Grant Holmes has made this statement. Now, there is a lot of speculation surrounding the electric vehicle push, with a lot of people just not believing in it to be the answer to the future of America's transportation and pollution problems if climate change is real. Now, locally, only time will tell how this story will iron out. That's why story number 3 made it this week. Story number 4. Security updates okayed for Youngstown schools. Mahoning County schools receive money from a K-12 school safety grant program. The money will be used to help schools create a safe learning environment. The main 5 areas mentioned in an article published Monday, December 12th include building access, video surveillance, weapons detection, lighting improvements, and mass communication improvements. Now, this is followed by an older report that made some headlines when 11 catalytic converters were taken off of Austintown school buses. Now, they were stolen. Now, this money will be spread throughout the local schools, with Youngstown receiving most of the money. That's why story number 4 made it this week. Story number 5. Girard made money on income tax collections this year. That's good news. Now, Girard has reported that the city will end the year with $4 million in collected income tax collections. Now, that's much higher than before, the coronavirus pandemic hit in early 2020, according to a local Vindicator report published December 13th. Now, one of the councilmen claims that it's because people have been working from home. Now, the article goes on to tout Girard's good year and points out in some cases how the needed city revenue will be used. That's why story number 5 crept in this week. Girard is back in business. Big headline. Story number 6. Youngstown has one less officer and Austintown names a new lieutenant. New reports say Brian Flynn, who was placed on paid leave following 14 misdemeanor counts of dereliction of duty for failing to follow up on potential child abuse and child pornography case. He failed to follow up. Now, this is according to a front page Vindicator article published December 9th. Now, the officer has been fired. Now, if Flynn is convicted of any crime, he could get 90 days in jail. Now, outside of Youngstown, Austintown has named Sean Hevner as the Austintown's police department's new lieutenant. He will be replacing a 27-year-old veteran of the department, Jordan Yakoven. So he will play Jordan Yakoven. He will replacing him, and that's why story number 6 almost made to the top 2 this week. Taking out some officers and bringing in some new officers in Austintown. Big headline. Story number 7 and the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week, folks. I want to wish all my local community folks a happy holiday and Merry Christmas, and however you celebrate it, I hope everybody just enjoys the holiday season. I've been working twice as hard to continue to keep the spirit of the season alive. So bless me, show me some love. Story number 7, Mahoning County Prosecutor's Office up for grabs after Paul Gaines retires. Now, on December 10th, 2 candidates made front page news of the Vindicator for applying for the prosecutor's seat vacated by Paul Gaines. Now, the committee will vote January 7th. Gina DeGenova, a 17-year-old county assistant prosecutor, and the current acting prosecutor will run with Brad Gessner, who has been Summit County's assistant prosecutor since 2005. So there's some experienced candidates on the ticket here. Now, according to the article, these were the only 2 candidates to apply for the seat. Ooh, a lot of big names this week in the media, but I'm getting through it. Story number 8 and the top local headline and developing news story that made it this week. Yeah, run into story number 8. Folks, there were so many big names in this week's program, but I've been able to get through them. And that's the toughest part about mediation is you got to pronounce names, you got to keep reading, you got to keep staying informed. And that's what I'm here for, to keep you informed, even around the holidays. Who gonna do something like that? Who gonna do something that good for you? But only the mediator. I'm making it, cooking it up for you to keep you informed, especially around the holidays. Woo-wee, that's a good deal. Story number 8. Hospital construction in Warren on hold. An article published December 10th in the Vindicator with the headline, Construction of New Hospital Paused, informed the local community more about the financial strain on the struggling medical industry. So there's been a lot going on in the medical industry. The article goes on to talk about current plans between Mercy Health and St. Joseph Hospital, while also talking about the current construction work at St. Joseph Hospital that's been put on hold. Now, this story is still developing, but shows you how COVID has really put a hurting on the medical industry. That's why I started rate made to the top this week, because we have to stay healthy. Big headline. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories. So don't you go anywhere. You're the Mediator, me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment. And don't forget to show some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8Inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints,
event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
You've taken these people and put them in a fake reality. What are you doing?
You must guard the citizens with your life. I have a feeling that Mother Time has started a war.
The Lord of Escobar interfered.
Every elite is going straight to hell.
I think you're crazy. You've always been a little bit crazy.
Wait till after the second moon.
The imagination is our biggest weapon.
So what do we do now?
I don't think there's anything we can do. We just have to wait.
Do you know how much time you've spent with me so far?
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. Folks, it is that time of year again. And if you did not know, there are some people that just don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, they don't celebrate it. Some of my cousins, I asked them, I said, y'all celebrate Christmas? No. So I went over his house, the kids just sitting around. Dad, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? They have no belief in the magic of the holiday season. Their parents don't teach them about the magic, about the concepts, the biblical knowledge. I mean, there are just a lot of people who just don't celebrate this time of year, don't even know about it. I mean, I'm thankful that I was introduced to Christmas at an early age, because every time I get to this time of year, I try my best to teach it and spread the good news. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think this time of year is really important. I'm not going to lie to you, because there's a lot of darkness, and there's a lot of religions out there that teach a lot of different things. But Christianity teaches about light, goodness, and magnificent miracles. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's been keeping a little pep in my step. I've been losing a lot of relatives. My mom has lost her mother, my grandfather around this time of year, my Uncle Johnny. And this time of year is always special, because this was the time of year where we would get new life, new ideas, new ways for my family to celebrate. So if you don't believe in Christmas or any type of magic around this time of year, celebrate something, That these kids, a lot of people are lost, and I think that's what Christmas is all about. The concept of never forgetting that once your day is up, there's something greater beyond this life. I really think that that's what Christmas is all about. Remembering and never forgetting that the joy and the peace comes from within. That's the inner strength, man. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and if you choose not to believe, think about me, the mediator, around this time of year. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't know, I'll remind you every Christmas on my show. Woo! Woo-wee! Ooh, yeah. Find somebody to cuddle up with this Christmas. Give a toy, give a present, give some love. Give love on Christmas Day. Ooh, I'm transforming. Ooh, to the Holly jolliness, folks. Don't forget about it. Don't forget about Jesus this time of year. Don't forget to spread the holiday love and joy to the children so they won't grow up in a dark, dark world, folks. Well, let's waste no time. Let's get to it. Story number one. A protest in Peru has everyone wondering why. That's pretty wild. Several headlines have been announced. I've been making headlines about Peru after, and saying that several people have also been announced dead, probably more. And protests continue to make headlines in Peru as Peru's former president Pedro Castillo has denied allegations of conspiracy and rebellion. Castillo was impeached and arrested on December 7th after he announced plans to dissolve Peru's Congress, and install an emergency government ahead of a looming impeachment vote by lawmakers, according to a CNN World Report. This story is still developing, highlighting more chaos in the world. Story number one, that's why I made it this week. Story number two, another social media storm is brewing. TikTok is back in the headlines after U.S. lawmakers introduced a bill to ban the platform, according to a CNN business report. Now, the proposed legislation would block and prohibit all transactions in the United States by social media companies with at least 1 million monthly users in various regions of the world, according to the report. Now, TikTok has been on the radar for some time for being labeled a spying application used by the Chinese to spy. Now, this story is still developing. That's why story number two crept in this week. Story number three. The Russian war is costing Ukraine a heavy price for victory. Probably calls it Russia and Ukraine. At the moment, nor Russia or Ukraine can afford to lose this war that they're fighting. Russia's battling it out, killing each other on the battlefield. Who'd ever thought? Now, Fox News reports that Ukraine's economy is set to take a $700 billion hit over its war with Russia. Oh my God, that's a lot of money. They could have gave it to me and I could have built libraries all over the world. Oh, this story is still developing. Story number three, big headline. Story number four, the behind-the-scenes view of a workforce with immigrants. Prison inmates have often labeled their situation as a modern-day slavery. They say they're being imprisoned to be put in slavery. One USA Today article states that private companies have been investing, have been found to be using immigrant labor with the help of Arizona prisons. So this is a lot going on in this story. It's even talking about investments into these prisons. It's a big story. Now, although this story is not surprising, it does shine some light on information that those who have been incarcerated have been trying to get people talking about. They've been trying to get people to be talking about this stuff for some time. They just don't have a voice. Now, they're having a voice about the entire prison industry and the business and how it operates. So that's what they've been trying to get the word out. Now, if the story gains any steam, we could be seeing just that, another deep conversation about the prison system. Well, folks, those are our top four international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with the top four, so don't you go anywhere. You're the media, me, Brown West. I'll be right back. If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top four international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Folks, I will continue to remind you that around this time of year, some people just do not get into the holiday spirit. Some people don't like it, but it really is the most wonderful time of year. A lot of people say that it's a pagan holiday because of it's not the actual birth date of Jesus. But I honestly believe like a group of guys just probably got together and said, you know what, we're going to have to put this around this time of year. We don't know when Jesus was born, so let's put it around the time where the Romans got together and celebrated the sun. How about that? Somebody probably, who knows what they were doing. They were probably smoking cigars and just feasting off their power. And they decided, a bunch of guys in a room, we're going to put this down 25th, around December 25th, and we're going to call it Christmas because that was the first day that the child Jesus was born from the Virgin Mary, God in the flesh. We're going to call this something special. And that's probably how we celebrate this time of year. Either way, you can believe in it or not, but there's something magical about that morning when you wake up and you find out that it's just you and the people who you've been around your entire life, your family and friends, celebrating the holidays. Whether you celebrate Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or Christmas, I would like to personally wish you happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Yes, yes. A long time ago in the Bethlehem town, the God from heaven to earth came down. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. The King of Kings was born in a manger. Ooh, yeah. Now we can sing like the angels sing. Singing glory, glory in the highest. Peace on earth, goodwill to all men. Be joyful, be thankful. Be uplifted this holiday season. Find something and a reason to worship that mighty, mighty story and read the story of Yeshua Yahweh, God in the flesh, sacrifice for all mankind, born the first Noel. God, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Well, folks, let's waste no time. Let's get to the top international stories that made this week. So let's get to it. Story number 5. Almost there. Story number 5. Civilians continue to get caught in the middle, folks, of wars. Now, with certain countries still being war-torn, innocent civilians continue to make headlines due to being caught in the crossfire. Now, according to a BBC report, Afghan Taliban forces killed 6 civilians in Pakistan and injured at least 17 others in the unprovoked bombing and gunfire attack on a border town, according to the report. CNN also reports that the Israeli military has admitted to shooting a 16-year-old Palestinian girl while also assuring that it was unintentional. USA Today reports that bombs left in Japan by the United States in World War II, all the way back in World War II, are still exploding and killing people in the Pacific Ocean. Now, the fact that civilians are being killed is what got this story in. It's constantly in war. Big headline, because civilians, they're just getting in the way of the country's business. Story number 5, big headline. Story number 6, nuclear fusion breakthrough makes the headlines. A massive step in a decades-long quest to unleash an infinite source of clean energy that could help end dependence on fossil fuels is what the article states. Now, this could mean big changes in the coming years to the way the world heats homes and the way people consume energy if this research develops even more. And even more of that, because they're talking about, some people say it's not going to be the answer to climate change. No, this is research that is aimed in the study of replicating the fusion that powers the sun. So they're just basically using this as a way to see how replicate how the sun keeps shining. So they're going to use this energy to believe it's infinite, to power as an infinite source of energy. The story is still developing. So story number 6 almost made it to the top 2 this week. Big headline. Story number 7 and the top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. The first Noel, the angels did say. Let's hope the holiday season is still bright and shiny in some little child's heart. Let's hope it's not fading. Let's grab back on to the spirit of the holiday season, even with the medical bills. Story number 7 is just that. Oh, the medical bills, especially around Christmas. Reports continue to be in circulation about the cost of medical and ambulance bills, folks. One USA Today article points out the simple fact that some people may be forgetting that if their insurance bill doesn't cover it, a bill will soon follow. You will have to pay it. So even if you're out smoking the Buddha and you get that lung disease, if your insurance doesn't cover it, you're gonna have to pay that bill. Even around Christmas. Stories about the rising cost of healthcare continue to make headlines, pointing out a growing concern eating away at the average American's pocketbook. This story is still developing, and a lot of people just can't afford to pay the medical bills. A lot of people just don't know. They just don't care. They don't take the time to understand that they have to stay healthy, so they don't have medical bills. Story number 7 is why I made it to the top 2 this week. Big head. Story number 8 and the top international headline and developing news story that made us. I am a poor boy too, have no gift to bring, but a story, folks. Story number 8, how the U.S. is fighting to have a good holiday season, folks. I have no gift to bring, but a drum and probably some stories. Folks, the battle to curb inflation continues, and lawmakers must decide again on government spending ahead of another government shutdown. In these financial battles, it's important to note that financial wealth is down by $13.5 trillion in 2022. That's the second largest drop on record, according to MarketWatch. American households lost $6.8 trillion in wealth over the first 3 quarters of 2022 after the stock market shed more than 25% of its value. Nominal net worth fell 4.6% to $143.3 trillion as the market value of assets fell by $6 trillion and liabilities rose by about $900 billion. Wow. The article goes on to point out how household balance sheets were propped up by a 10% increase in home equity, the greatest source of wealth for most American families. The article also mentions that consumers are taking on more debt, thus proving that the U.S. is fighting to have a good holiday season in the midst of the COVID-19 madness. This story is still developing, and that's why we will be strapped for cash this holiday season, but we will find a way to make it happen, make Christmas possible. It's always possible. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local and international headlines and developing news stories that I made this week. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out of doing the research. As usual, I'd like to thank all the news outlets and journalists and people in the front lines. You deserve all the credit. I'm just a media, the man in the middle, reading and navigating your stories for the greater good of the public, folks. If you want to show some support here at Method 8, it does not take much. All you got to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Or you can stop at 5648 Market Street and buy something. I'm always in the store 10 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Well, folks, I am out of here. I'll be back next week looking through over 200 or more stories, getting ready to bring in the holiday Christmas with you. So Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Hanukkah. I am out of here, folks. Have a good week. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator. Me, Brian West. Merry Christmas. Peace.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.